It's calling Kitty. Here's Kitty.
Oh, hiya. How are we doing, gang? Are we all right? It's good to be in your earlobes again this week. I hope that you're all good. You're looking gorgeous, smelling gorgeous, and even the vibes are good. I can tell straight away. I hope wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this, or maybe even watching it, I hope that things are all right with you. And we never say, I hope things are great, because that's just too much. It's too optimistic. We can just now secure in the knowledge that things are just all right. Okay. Welcome to Calling Kitty. It's me. It's Kitty Cassis. Cassis, like the dark, sweet, viscous, slightly sickly liqueur. Only tolerable in very small doses. It's only a little taste for your treasures. All right. You're not getting the full extended version, not the director's cut. No, that's behind the paywall. A paywall that we've not even set up yet. So we're just giving it away. We're giving it away for free. Welcome to Calling Kitty. This is an audio podcast and it's got a visual element. And you can find that visual element by clicking on the link in the show notes through to the YouTube. And if you do that today, come and have a look at me. I'm looking gorgeous. I mean, I've had my nails done this morning. What I do is I don't use acrylics. I actually use, I collect newborn fingernails and then I cultivate those over a number of years and we shellac them out. And that just keeps me with a very kind of innocent vibe. And it gives me that purity. That purity that so many people search out, so many people value me for that. And obviously a lot of people associate me with that as well. So that's my life hack today. How are we all hanging, gang? Slightly to the left. I love that. Keep it there. Today's episode is dedicated to all of those of you out there that are suffering with cold sores. Have you got cold sores, reoccurring cold sores? Did you suffer from them? It's all about stress. Did you know that? It's about stress. And for me, I've got a couple of work experience girls here at the salon this week, and they have actually tested my bandwidth. I'm going to be honest with you, treasures. And this week, I've been under a lot of stress. All right. I'm having a little beverage here. If you're on the YouTube, you can see. Give me a little cheers. Chin, chin. What have I got here today? Well, I've definitely got some rum in there. I've always got a Barocca blackcurrant flavour in there. And I just put a bit of sesame oil and mix that round. And that tends to just take the edge off for me. So whatever you need to get over your stressful situations, maybe you've got a situation at work that's stressing you out. Like me here. I mean, I don't know what it is about young people today. They just don't seem to have a work ethic. And I know it's not a new thought. There's no thought that's new under the sun, is there? But these girls, I tell you what, sorry, I say girls, they prefer not to be gendered. So that's fine. They come in but they're always at least 40 minutes late. Well, how am I going to explain to Deirdre, who's come in for a back sack and crack and a chin wax, that she's going to be 40 minutes late for a shift? That means I'm having to do it, doesn't it? All right. So I'm trying to teach young people. If you've got anyone who'd like to come and do some work experience at mine, come and have a look, come and have a go. A lot of things can cause you stress. Do you know what I mean? People, places, ornaments. I mean, I've got a friend, she's got those weird like ceramic ornaments and they actually cause her stress. They actually mess up the feng shui. And I said to her, Sheila, take those out of the house, take them out the front porch because they're going to cause you a load of problems. And actually, I did want to share with you one of my remedies. All right. This is a personal concoction that I put together, and as well as me beverage that I've got here, it will also just it will align you a little bit more with, you know, a sense of peace. All right. So what you do is you take one false eyelash from a Ben and Jerry's concession worker, pop that into a pestle and mortar. You need the belly button fluff from anybody who does the early shift at a council-run leisure centre, not a private one. It's got to be with the borough council. A used contact lens from a South Eastern Railways ticket inspector, preferably the right eye. Okay. Pop all that into your pestle and mortar. A pinch of Horlicks, a dash of peri-peri sauce, mix anti-clockwise 17 times whilst facing in a north-northwest direction at the stroke of midnight. What I want you to do is pop a little bit of that on the roof of your mouth. Tell me if that doesn't sort out your stress. All right, your immune system will be relieved. And I was selling this concoction actually, you know, on the lay-by in the A13. I had Angus Deaton and Pat Sharp in the porter cabin with me. They were selling berries and cherries and gooseberries as well. But this was sort of, you know, back of the shop stuff. And this would do really, really well. And the people of Kidderminster, I was a bit of a guru back then. And they would say to me, Kitty, when are you coming back to the lay-by to sell your goods? And do you know, I've not been back there for about 15 years, but I'm thinking of after the experience I've had here today, trying to employ these young people, I'm thinking of maybe resurrecting me tinctures, you know, and all of me potions and me lotions and me concoctions that I do. So if you've got any, I mean, try that. You can pause this podcast, you can rewind it. You can get a pen and paper, quill and parchment. You could even just type it down. You could get all of those things. Please don't, it has to be consensual that you get all those ingredients together. And really just, you know, witness the magic that can happen when you follow instructions from you know, a matriarch like me. All right. So calling Kitty, this is the vibe. Do you know what I mean? We're dropping these little nuggets. We're collecting ideas. It's a community, and if you've never listened to this before, please feel held by this community. I'm going to do me little, because I've got these acrylic. Not acrylics. Me nails from collected newborns fingernails. And I know a lot of me ASMR folk will love that as well. So you can get in touch with me here at Calling Kitty. You just go to HIYAITSMEKITTY on all of the platforms, Treasure. I'm available. You can get in touch with me if you've got any issues, if you've got any problems. That's how you can get in touch with me. Do you know what? I've got one of my tingles and I've got it deep down in my solar plexus, and I'm feeling like somebody might be trying to actually get in touch with me right now. Look at that. Oh God, that was a tonal shift. Who have we got? Hello?
Hi, Kitty. Hi, Kitty. It's Sam. How are you?
Sam, how are you doing, Treasure? Are you all right?
I'm very good. I'm very happy I don't have your background, because otherwise I would be just like a floating head.
Well, look at you. And again, if this isn't an incentive to click on that link and go and look on the YouTube and leave a little thumbs up for us, I don't know what is. Sam is looking absolutely resplendent today in a leopard print jacket with a crisp white shirt and your gorgeous background. How are you doing, Treasure?
I'm very, very well. So excited to talk to you and to come to you and experience you and all that is the 360 multimedia experience that Kitty always provides.
Oh, and that is a voice of experience, because we have done many, like you say, 4D experiences together, fully immersive experiences together, haven't we, over the years?
We are literally like Six the Musical. We are just like knocking it out of the garden with loads of like confetti and immersive. The last time I saw you actually they accidentally made somebody fall on stage, which was a big health and safety concern, but thankfully she survived and she hasn't sued, so that's good. yet.
I do believe she's out of the coma, so that is a good thing, isn't it?
May she be blessed. May she be blessed. You don't want to have any casualties on UCV. I speak from experience. But yeah, hopefully
Absolutely.
she makes it. I've good feelings about her.
And I also have known I've known you be able to affect members of the public in a similar way, Sam. Have you ever been sued?
Have I? Not yet. No, not yet. As far as I'm aware, I was once a crown witness, but due to legal reasons, I can't speak about it for the next 5 years. But that's not the most. You always think, you come to a witness stand, you look like Marlene Dietrich in the Nuremberg trials, you give them glamour, you give them face, you give them jokes.
Absolutely.
But no, it's they don't even make you sit anymore. Like, what has this country come to? You have now to witness standing. Oh, I could go on forever and ever and ever. I know your target audience probably knows what I'm talking about, but let's just move on and not speak about the horrible things.
Well, the thing is, Sam, these when the legal system and the judiciary system is stripped from with cuts like that, the first thing to go is glamour. And we say this a lot on this podcast. If you don't have the glamour, then you don't have the building blocks of society, do you?
No, and they can't take a joke as well. Like, you arrive there, say, "Where's my green room?" They say, "What do you mean?" I was like, "That was a joke." They say, "We don't find that funny." I said, "I'm sorry, I'm not from this country." It's a whole palaver.
Yeah, and you know that an asterisk will be next to your name on a list somewhere, and that is, it's problematic, but it's also my work here is done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
So, what's going on in your world today? You'll be able, if you are looking on the YouTube, you'll be able to see that behind Sam, he's got his Kraut Spice logo. So, tell us a bit about that. Tell us about what you're up to.
Well, I'm very excitedly. I just did the Tunbridge Wells Fringe, which was absolutely incredible.
Sounds lovely.
Oh, it was so good. I performed at the Green Duck Resort World and Casino, and it was just everything I hoped it would be and more. To such an extent, I'm actually coming back to Tunbridge Wells. So please, if you know anybody who lives in Tunbridge Wells, if you maybe a member of the Lib Dems, I don't know, that seems to be a hot spot. Do pop along.
We have got we've got lots of listeners that are in the WI, so I know that they will be clutching their pearls right now. Give us that date that you're going to be in Tunbridge Wells, Sam.
I will absolutely do that, and I absolutely know it by heart because I'm so looking forward to
It's the 18th of October,
18th of October.
I had a feeling. I just had one of my feelings.
I had a feeling. Oh my God, goodness me! And yeah, come and see me in that excellent venue, which is like the Palladium of the Southwest.
It really is.
And love Tunbridge Wells. Every person there is so humble. I went to a fantastic afternoon experience. I'm really into my Bridgerton, and coming from not from this country, I have like this whole Jane Austen fantasy of what the UK means. So I was like, let's go to Tunbridge Wells, have some afternoon tea before my show, volunteering the full Bridgerton Jane Austen experience. And I went to this wonderful place called Creams, which is a bit more like, imagine like Bridgerton, but set in a strip club.
Right, shiny surfaces.
Shiny surfaces, glitter balls. They're meant well. Yeah, it was an experience. Yeah.
So, do you have anywhere that's kind of Bridgerton inspired in Germany?
No, we have inspired a lot of Hollywood movies and TV shows, but maybe for a different reason. So we are not very into the Bridgerton glamours. That's all I can really say on that topic, because that's not that kind of podcast. As I'm always saying, there's a reason we don't have a German version of BBC's Who Do You Think You Are? That takes a while to sink in.
I mean,
Yeah,
it would be a deep dive, wouldn't it? It would probably be quite a deep dive. So you have got in touch with me today, and
yeah,
I'm so grateful that you have. What is going on in your world? Have you got anything that you would that you want to
right on.
seek my counsel on?
Oh, absolutely. I recently started a multi-layer marketing scheme, or as I like to call it, a pyramid scheme. And
Right.
I'm so thoughting I was absolutely going to smash it. I'm going to recruit a lot of people to buy my plastic containers, which keep everything fresh for up to 48 hours. But neither my sales nor my recruitment skills are hitting at the moment. So I really want to know, how can I excel in my multi-layer marketing scheme and get to the next level of regional director, deputy in charge.
Right. You have come to the right place, Sam. And I mean, you'll remember back in the 80s, multi-layered marketing, multi-level MLM, whatever the acronym is, we just used to call it Toblerone sales. All right.
Amazing.
That was back in the day. And I mean, obviously, sometimes what you've got to do is just have it's a what that at that point it's a one level, it's just one level, okay,
Yeah.
and it's all about equality and everybody being on the same level. But obviously then you can start stacking those Toblerones, and that's when things really start to escalate into the next level. I mean, I was doing Ann Summers parties, basically as a little bit of a an after party to the Tupperware party.
Yeah.
So have you started having? What have you done so far? Tell me what you've done to
When
try and
I
get this off the
posted,
ground.
I put it all on my Facebooks. I keep showing off
Mm-hmm.
my new shoes, saying thanks to my Tupperware, we can't call them because we don't want to end up in court. Thanks to my plastic container sales for 48-hour freshness, I could afford these
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful, wonderful new shoes. I already get some AI to work to put me in front of like a pool in the Cotswolds. I already
Nice.
posted photos of myself in one of those fancy restaurants you have in Tunbridge Wells. I heard the
Mm-hmm.
Weatherspoons is one of the finest in the country. So I really, really are engaging with my target group, which is mainly people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s on the socials. And with socials, I mean the Facebook. But that's
Yeah.
all. So I really need to get to the next people, get to the next level, approach the people who really want to take their life and become a boy boss, girl boss, CEO of whatever they dream of.
Yeah. So am I right in thinking that within these containers that keep things fresh for 48 hours, is that a clip lid? Are we talking about a clip lid or a press on lid?
It's a press on.
It's a press on.
It's a
Okay. So
press
I'm just
on.
thinking what will be contained therein? Are we talking food goods? Are we talking bodily parts? Are we talking
Anything you
secretions?
want, anything you want. You want food, you want to have body parts. Some of your relatives, like your uncle, needs the kidney. So if you just have like a
Mm-hmm.
knife and like a sleeping pill ready, you can sort him out. It's absolutely wonderful. I have some experience with putting mangoes in it, but that's a whole different story. But anything you can possibly preserve, and again, it's very, very German. Just put it in there, keep it fresh and healthy for 48 hours. And this is really the spirit of my mission and vision at the moment, to bring joy and 48 hours of freshness to the humble people of the UK.
Yep. And I'm seeing your target market now as people, perhaps blood donors, perhaps sperm donors, perhaps people who are. I mean, if you could fit a kidney in one of those, then we're talking quite big in terms of sizing. Have we
Yes,
got a
yeah.
wide selection?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
everything from a tooth nail to a half of a lung. So whatever
Yeah.
you need, we can provide. I have
That's great.
connections.
Because you could also maybe, once you finish with that, put a nice size brisket in there as well. So it's a multitasking product,
Yeah,
isn't it? By the sounds of it. Yeah.
and you have
I
the
suggest what you
specialties too.
do. Yeah, what I'm thinking is obviously doing your online stuff is fine and great, especially on your Facebooks. But I would really get out there and actually get face to face with the people. Yes, it's not as easy as just opening up a laptop. And this goes out to anyone out there who's trying to spread the word about what they're doing. It's really about these human connections that we make. And it is harder work, but get a trestle table, get a load of tarpaulin. I'd say get some signage. And I think that you would be amazing at doing signage. I know from your previous works, signage is a big thing for you. And you might be thinking, but Kitty, that's going to cost me money. We have to speculate to accumulate. It's one of the oldest rules of business. But you do get out what you put in. Maybe you don't get out quite as much as you do put in. But again, you have to think, what are those human connections? And are they, that could lead to something else down the line. Now, have you also tried the care homes? Because I find that they are captive audience. They can't go anywhere. They can't run away from you. And they're not spending any of the money. It's just building up there in their accounts. And you can bleed that dry if you get the right product, Sam.
I love a good care home. Anything I can do where people are as excited about the future as somebody in a care home, that's right, my target group, right up my street.
Yeah. So, and this could we could put this out as a PDF, couldn't we? This is a bit of we'd have some bullet points. So, face-to-face contact with people, preferably people who are reclining due to not being able to actually have the core strength to be able to get up and move away from you.
Absolutely. Get me on it. Is there any care homes in Tunbridge Wells I need to look out for? Do you have a favorite care home?
There are many. There are many, and I mean, obviously there are territorial issues, Sam. I'm not going to lie. There is, there is something of a mafia when it comes to the care homes in Tunbridge Wells. You got to be careful where you're going, because if you step out of line, you could be looking at being fed by a tube for the rest of your life, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So just be careful. Do your due diligence, do your research. I hear that Slough is a very good place to not controlled not controlled at the moment, and I always find that a big bunch of flowers and a little trip round the A&E ward in most NHS hospitals can it can yield a good result.
I have to be a bit careful with that accent, because I don't want to trigger any PTSD for them, because they think, oh my God, I hear a German voice. I might have not been fulfilling my life in a good way, and now I'm seeing the other side, which is not heaven. So tiny bit caution there, but absolutely I can try that and see what I can do, and maybe get some if there's anybody out there from Slough who would like to join my multi-layer marketing stuff and visit all the care homes with me, who can do most of the speaking, please do get in contact with Kitty.
Yeah, do get in touch. I can be a conduit, as we like to say. I can be the go-between for a very small fee. And I can put you in touch. One thing you do have to know is this is a good product, and you've got to get in on the ground floor. That's what I always say. Don't leave it till later, because you'll look back and you say, oh, I should have got on that a year ago. Now the price has gone up, because obviously the demand has gone up, and that's where you're stacking your Toblerones. That's where that comes from. And that's when that's when you're going international. That's the big time, isn't it? Really.
Toblerone. Let's all visualize the Toblerone. Let's climb that mountain. Did you know that if you look at the Toblerone, it shows you a bear, not a mountain?
Now, I have heard that. I didn't know if it was an urban myth.
No, true. Like, everybody, once this podcast is done, because do not stop the podcast now, because that's like brand new information to you. Listen to the end bit. Once you come to the end bit, Google the logo of the Toblerone and see how many bears you can spot in it. Spoiler, it's one. But you can have a wonderful, that's such a good, I think people in, not so much in Tunbridge Wells, because they're less working class. But next time, if you like more like in the working class and you go to a pub quiz, that's a perfect pub quiz question. How many bears can you see on a Toblerone logo? Because then you will be like, wow, I didn't know there was a bear on it. And I was like, yeah, no, there was always a bear on it. So Yeah.
I mean, don't say that this podcast doesn't give you anything. We are dropping truth bombs everywhere, aren't we? And you know, there's at least 4 or 5 nuggets that might come in useful in a pub quiz. And that is you. What I'll say is, you're welcome, listeners of Calling Kitty. Where can our listeners find you, Treasure, if they wanted to get in touch with you or see your stuff?
They can find me. Oh gosh, they can find me on my Insta, which is Samuel CHZ, and then I'm Samuel Zernig on all the other socials. And then you can hopefully come and see me on stage sometime. It's really fun. Imagine your favorite girl group meets your favorite world war. That's kind of what my show is about. It's a visual feast. Described as the most German thing to invade your heart since the COVID vaccine. So there you go. If you had a vaccine, if not, I'm not judging. It's a judgment-free show. But please make sure it's like a Pfizer one, because we want to make sure your heart is kind of invaded by something German, not American. But that again is more for
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like America is about to head into sort of where Germany was like 100 years ago or something like that. I mean, I don't get political on this show, as you know, but I for one, can absolutely recommend Kraut Spice and Samuel Zernig. Follow him on Instagram, because it is, I mean, you know, when you're sometimes looking around the channels and you're flicking through the channels, there's nothing to watch. I do that sometimes with Instagram stories, and I'm flicking, and then I come to Samuel's stories and I see that there's a good, 2 or 3 minutes stacked up there. You can see the little dashes across the top, and I think, oh, let me get the kettle on, let me get a cup of tea, let me sit down, because what has he been up to? Where has he been? Who has he been seeing? You are on a different adventure every day, and it absolutely thrills me.
Thank you so much. Likewise. I mean, your kitty is the gift that keeps on giving. If you haven't been to a kitty bingo, what are you doing with your life? Like, literally, this is like,
question.
I mean, go and book it. Like, you're doing all the fringes. There's not a single French kitty is not doing this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tonbridge is Wales French. Tonbridge, that's a place. Tonbridge. Tonbridge.
It is a place, but we don't talk about that place. It really is. It's forbidden, verboten, as I think you say over there. If there is a fringe, I'll come and do it. That is for bloody sure, but non-Trent fringe, Scunthorpe fringe.
That's all magical places
fringe...
I've never heard of, but that sounds really wonderful. It sounds like an East Germany place before the wall came down. I love that. It's like you're building bridges with all the people in those less fortunate cities, villages, towns.
Small towns, and the thing is, I'll grace you with my presence, and I will touch you whether you want me to do that or not, in a really quite visceral and deep, in a visceral, deep way, and also consensual. Sam, thank you so much for joining us today. Check the show notes. You can go and check out Sam, and we'll see you soon, Treasure. Ta-ra!
Thank you so much. Bye.
Oh, do you know what? I love having friends. I love having colleagues. I love having complete strangers on this podcast, because you learn something new every single time, don't you? Go and follow all my friends. Like, subscribe, and share, and do all those things. We keep doing it, Treasure. I keep pulling on me glad rags, and I keep doing this podcast. And even if there's just one person, and that person is Big Cock 343 on YouTube, who's been leaving some absolutely what can only be described as disturbing comments on my YouTube page, then this is for you, Treasure. All right, listen, from the bottom of my colonic to the very tips of these acrylics, I've been Kitty Cassis, and you lot have been gorgeous. See you soon. Ta-ra!
Like, follow, subscribe, sign your life savings over to Calling Kitty. Available on all the podcast platforms.